Hi, this is Rick Julian, Chief Creative Officer of QV, and this is the Deep Dive. So today I have on my plate to deliver some very foundational strategic deliverables for a client for whom we're doing a rebrand. And it will be the result of about a month's work of research, thinking, debating, experimenting. And clients will often say, look, man, it's 5 words. This thing that you're giving, it's 5 words. Or that logo, it's this little bitty thing. I mean, how can it be so expensive? It takes so long to get something that simple. Come on. There's nothing more complicated to do than simple work. The art of creating really powerful, durable work that will serve your company for years to come, whether it's positioning, a tagline, a logo, almost any of those assets, if you really want to get an ROI out of them, you have to get to these very simple distillations of very complex ideas. And the reason it takes so long and the reason it takes so much money is because so much work goes into it. First, you have to gather all the data, right? We have to do all this research. We have to gather all of this data, talk to these different people, do an assessment of these different experiences and gather all the facts, spread them out on a table, a metaphoric table, and then look at them and see what's relevant, what's not relevant, throw the things that are irrelevant, and then keep those things that do appear relevant and then move them around until you get to a place where they begin to form a pattern. And you start to get, your instinct starts to say, okay, a pattern is emerging out of all of that data. Let me start to work with that. And that, just getting to that point takes a lot of time and a lot of work. You haven't even begun creating yet. You're still discovering. Fact gathering. And then you try to start creating something out of that fact pattern. And for every public-facing asset, tagline, name, logo, positioning, all of that stuff, all of that simple stuff that you get to, that's just kind of these few words or that simple design. For all of those public-facing things, there are 150 crumbled up pieces of paper that lie on the floor behind the desk of the person that created it. After all of that research, once you start getting into the distillation, the creation of that deliverable, there is an enormous amount of work that goes into exploring different ideas that represent those insights, that distill them into a deliverable that will be public facing. And you just won't see that. You will probably see the 4 or 5 ideas that those things have been narrowed down to. But you have to go through the 150 ones that lie on the floor before you even get to those 4 to 5. And then you have to go from those 4 to 5 to the 1. And then iterate and refine and refine and refine on that one. The very best work in the world, the most simple, intelligent, enduring work in the world, was not about taking a simple idea and adding complexity to it. It's about taking an overly complex idea and simplifying it, subtracting, 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 until it lands at that simple, ultimately distilled place where it cannot be subtracted anymore. There is nothing left to subtract. It is at its most pure essence. And only then have you arrived at its highest potential. So that's what I'm wrestling with today. And it feels like you're battling heaven and earth to get to that very simple, elegant, intelligent expression of a very complex situation that the client finds themselves in, trying to succeed against the best brands in the world, with that as their competition. Well, I signed up for that, and I love it, and every day I get to do it gives me meaning and inspiration. Be patient. Let the people you hire do their work. Let them go through all of those 150 pieces of paper and know that that is the journey they have to go through in order to get to that single, wonderful, beautiful thing that you will behold and share with the world. All right.